You have a question. Get on the mic and shout it out.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What?
I'm Coda from Kentucky, and if you were in The Walking Dead, what would you do to survive?
Well, I wouldn't hang around walkers, that's for sure. I don't know. I want to date Emily Kinney. Oh, it beats still my heart. I have such a crush. No, you know, I like, you know, and there's a lot. I'm not done with it, and I'm not over with it yet. I'm talking about the post-apocalyptic landscape that we see a lot on cable and in movies and in novels lately. But it is getting up to here on me a bit, because sometimes I really think that somebody should seek a kind of fortified high ground. And I think that would be the secret, you know, fortified high ground. That would be that's sort of like the basic rule of survival. Either that or a girl with a chainsaw for a hand.
Get up in the north there.
And for me, I would do what I always do in a movie. I would run. Oh, no, wait, I don't run. I guess I'm fucked.
Next question.
Who's next?
Thomas from Milledgeville. How you doing? Appreciate you, Mr. Englund and Mr. Hodder. As a little boy, when I watched the films, and then I was curious after the film, I had to go look at Krueger, right? And some of the magazines. I didn't have Google. I didn't have the World Wide Web. So I want to ask about your popularity. Compare and contrast your popularity before the World Wide Web and afterwards. Because when I wanted to know who was Jason, it was hard to find out it was Kane Hodder.
That's a great question.
And so, just talk a little bit about your popularity if you don't mind.
Well, for me, what happened to my career was I came of age, and I'd done 15 movies and a hit television series before I did Freddy. I was a working actor in Hollywood, and I'd worked with some big people, Schwarzenegger, Jeff Bridges, the great Henry Fonda, lots and lots of big actors from the 70s, Charles Bronson, Burt Reynolds, you guys remember them. And for me, the great gift of the timing of Nightmare on Elm Street was it came of age exactly with video, and then cable, early cable, and then we had DVDs, and then we had more sophisticated cable, and then we had Blu-ray, then we had digitally remastered, we had box sets of video and Blu-rays, and now we have streaming now, Netflix, and all of the various platforms. And what that did for me was it gave me a second and then a third generation of fans. Because if you take someone that's seen a dad now who saw it on a scratchy VHS tape passed around in a dormitory room with a joint. And now he's a respectable dad, and he's got a 12-year-old kid and it's sleepover night with his buddies, and the dad takes him down in a man cave, and dad pops on Dream Warriors on a 15-inch flat screen, Blu-ray, digitally remastered, box set edition. Let me tell you, it looks great. And for a 12-year-old boy, it looks great. It's not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, but it looks real good. And so I got a whole other generation of fans, and that's the big gift for me. That's how that happened. That's what changed it for me.
And, you know, 1988, when I did the first Jason film, Part 7, they actually didn't want me talking to people about the fact that I was playing Jason. For some reason, they wanted to keep it anonymous. And so much so that I was in my hotel room before I went to the set one day, and the phone rang in the room, of course, no cell phones. And I picked up the phone, and the guy said, "Hi, this is John Woolley. I write stories for Fangoria." And I still think he works with them or something, and did for a long time. And he says, "I understand you're in Mobile, Alabama right now, shooting the new Friday the 13th movie and playing Jason." And I was instructed to be completely oblivious to anything like no knowledge, and I'm actually physically getting ready to go to the set to shoot, and I have to tell him, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And I felt like such an idiot having to deny what I was actually doing. And that all changed when I did the second film, because then I was kind of established as more the guy that had played the character, so they were not so worried about, you know, having publicity about it, which I don't know why they were anyway, but with, you know, there's a whole generation of fans that saw the movies that way, but it was such a huge difference to me when people started being able to access that information, like you said. Who played Jason Friday the 13th, and my name would come up more often than the other guys just because I had done a second one, and then everything started to change. I've said it before, I never, when I started in this business, never anticipated ever signing an autograph, because I wanted to be a working stunt person. And stunt people are, you know, behind the scenes. Very often, actors take credit for things that stunt people have done. So that's what I was prepared for, and that was fine. I just wanted to work in the stunt business. And so the fact that I started being asked to sign my name on things, it was like such a bizarre feeling, and I think that's why probably I still appreciate this so much, because I never expected it. I never expected it.
Oh, you loved it the first time that goth girl walked up to you and went, "Sign me, Kane."
I remember that.
Okay, who do we have next? Melissa?
My name is Jessica Elliott, and I'm from Kentucky, and I would like to ask, what is it like to be Jason and Freddy?
You go first, Kane. I have to think about it.
Well, with my personality, I've always said, and it always sounds like a joke, but I always really mean it. If you have a non-violent, very peaceful, mild personality here, and a psychopathic, murdering personality here, I'm somewhere here. And where most people are down here, I'm very much closer in my normal personality to that. So for me to get to that position on the set is quick. I'm able to make the transition very quickly, and I think it's convincing. And, you know, it's hard to be scary without your face or your voice. And that's the whole trick to playing some character like Jason, that you have to be intimidating just by the way you stand, which is why I came up with the breathing thing and all that. But I absolutely love playing characters like that. So.
Well, Freddy's been real good to me, and the great thing about playing Freddy has been that it opened the door for me, along with thee, to international success. You could probably take Kane and I and drop us off at a fountain in Rome, and we would both be signing autographs within 5 minutes. If Jay Leno was sitting with us, nobody would know who the hell he is, because Jay Leno, a huge American star, is unknown in Europe and unknown around the world. Whereas horror movies and science fiction movies and fantasy films speak the language of movies. They speak the language of film, which is an international way of understanding how a story is told. We can all watch a movie in a foreign language and understand the story just by watching the images, if it's an action movie or a ghost story or a horror film, because it's using that language of cinema. And it's been a great gift to me, playing Freddy, that I'm known all over the world and I can work all over the world. I leave next week to star in a horror movie in Bulgaria. You know, I've worked everywhere, and it's just this great adventure, especially at this time in my career, you know, to still be asked, you know, to get up in the morning and hit my marks, and also to be able to get to do it all around the world, whether it's Rome, whether it's London, whether it's Budapest, Bucharest, Tel Aviv, Africa. You know, I've worked in Russia, I've worked in South America, Asia, and it's just this great bonus to our careers, you know. In fact, this guy doesn't go over to Europe enough, and I can't tell you how many Jason fans are in Europe. It's amazing, and it's really fun too, because the critics over there take horror a lot more seriously. They give it a little more respect, and it's kind of fun to get into the trenches with them and do interviews, you know, around the lobby of the hotel. Anyway, to answer your question, the great gift for me about playing Freddy, what it's been like playing Freddy for me is that I get to travel all over the world now. Thank you.
All right, guys, unfortunately, we have time for just one more question. So I'm going to take it over here.
I'm Greg from Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm just curious, what are y'all's thoughts on the remakes of y'all's characters? And will we ever see y'all come back as those characters and maybe like Freddy vs. Jason Part 2?
You guys, what you have to understand is New Line Cinema bought the rights up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. They own Nightmare on Elm Street. And then they were sold to Turner Broadcasting. And then that became Warner Brothers. And that's who owns the rights for those films now. And they want to reboot a new franchise. They want to reboot them for a new, younger audience, and using the new technology that's available. So, although there was some Jason and some Freddy projects on the back burner, so to speak, back around 2005, ever since the quest has been given to Michael Bay to reboot these three franchises, that's probably what's going to happen. That's what they want to do. There's some pretty serious gossip going on right around now that they may be rebooting Dream Warriors. I'm not sure about this, but it would make sense to me because that, I think, is the most successful of all of the movies in the franchise.
And
you know anything I don't know?
No. The only Friday movie I didn't watch was the remake, because when I saw the trailer, it didn't seem like the Jason that I identified with. Not just my portrayal, but just the way Jason had always been when he's sprinting through the woods and somebody told me he's taking hostages and stuff like that. It's just building tunnels. It just didn't seem like my
scrapbooking.
Paper mache. I mixed a cupcake and a brownie. I'm calling it a crownie. I love that commercial, but anyway, so that's the only one I didn't see. No offense meant to Derek at all, because he's a good friend of mine, and I did kill him in Hatchet 3, so I was happy to do that. Oh, Gregory.
Look who's here.
Greg did my makeup on Jason Goes to Hell.
I get the hair on my back always goes up when I see Greg. I always think he's going to put Prozac up my nose.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much. We are so lucky, Halloween, to have two of the greatest horror